Hello, everybody. On tonight's episode of Backseat Quarterbacks, we have a Super Bowl matchup. I am on site in the Mile High city of Denver. Darren is on site in a very warm Phoenix, Arizona, the only warm place in the country, it seems. And we just watched two good football games. The New England Patriots won a 10-7 snowstorm of a game against the Denver Broncos to win the AFC Championship game with Drake May. I cannot believe they're back in the Super Bowl. This is beautiful to watch. I nearly cried a tear. I almost cried. I almost cried when Gonzalez picked that ball off, and when May rushed that third down for the first down. I really came close to crying. I was like, "Wow, this is amazing." I was right by it. Only Broncos fans, so it was pretty funny. They were all talking shit, not in a bad way. They were very nice. So Broncos fans were very friendly to me. I just want to put that out there. But they were all talking shit the entire game, which is fair. It was not a great game of football, but fun time to be. We're going to describe that, and then of course, the better of the two football games product wise was for sure the second game, Seattle and LA, where the Seahawks are NFC champions for the first time since 2014, and it is reliving a Super Bowl, what I consider the greatest game in the history of football, Super Bowl 49. And 11 years later in Super Bowl 60, we're going to run it back. A lot different now. Instead of two old guys and Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick, you got two Mikes, Mike McDonald and Mike Vrabel. Instead of obviously the greatest athlete in the history of the human race, the human species, I should say, Tom Brady, you have the second greatest athlete in the history of the human species in Drake May. And on the other side, no Russell Wilson. I don't even know if he's going to play football anymore. I don't know where he is. You got Sam Darnold thrown away by multiple teams. How many teams has Sam Darnold been on? He's been on, I guess, the Jets. The Jets, it's funny. That's actually funny that, yeah, he was on the Panthers. He was on the 49ers. He was on the Vikings. He was obviously now on the Seahawks. There might have been another stop there, one or two stops. I don't know. It's a great story for Sam Darnold, and I'm very happy for him. And I say that genuinely. I know that I'm probably going to become a massive Seahawks hater over these next 2 weeks, but I want to be genuine in my praise that this is a great story that Sam Darnold has been able to do this in his career, because there's a lot of people that wrote him off, and guess what? He did not write back. So without further ado, this is a 2.5, 3 minute intro now. And I'm very happy. I'm obviously on cloud nine. My team's back in the Super Bowl. I still can't believe that this is real. This season feels like a fairy tale. You know what? I have my friend Darren to talk about it. And we're going to talk about how the Patriots have made it to the Super Bowl after Tom Brady has played on another team, won a Super Bowl with another team. And then they went through a few other quarterbacks, Cam Newton, Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi, et cetera, drafted another quarterback, went through another coach, before the Packers ever reached another Super Bowl. Darren, how you doing? Yeah, Darren.
I
Sorry, Darren.
am I'm doing good. You know, this is a fantastic Sunday. Championship Sunday has got to be, but I do love wild card and divisional round games too. Those ones are those are amazing too, but
I'm getting back to my roots, by the way. Do you see this? I'm getting back to my roots.
a little Coors Light, a celebratory Coors Light. Yes,
Mile high.
you did name all of Sam Darnold's teams. So those are the five stops he's made along his 8-year journey. Well, I guess 7, going into his 8th year as an NFL player. What a time. What a time. Sam Darnold and the Seahawks versus Drake May and the Patriots. We should start by you telling us about your experience at, what is it, Empower Stadium? Is that the right name?
You know, I'm going to say this once and for all. They can try to sponsor stadiums, but
Mm-hmm.
once you're called the Mile High Stadium, you ain't changing it. Lambeau Field can be called, State Farm at Lambeau. You're not changing that name. It's
Yeah.
Lambeau Field. I don't care.
Well,
Gillette,
it's like
they can change
Heinz
the name of
Field.
Gillette.
Heinz Field, they
Yeah,
changed the
see,
name
they
of that.
changed
Nobody calls it that, though.
Accenture or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's Heinz. It's always gonna be Heinz. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, it's yeah, Mile High Stadium, empowered Mile High. Here's the deal. I flew in last night at like 11:45. Plane got delayed about an hour. I'm drinking some Michelobs, not Coors Lights, Michelobs. I drink 5 16-ounce Michelob twist off aluminum cans. I remember this very vividly because I saw my bill and I was like, did I get charged somebody else's bill? I texted this on our group chat. I'm gonna just tell you, before tax and tip, $72 for 5 of them. Oh, huh?
Wow.
Hmm. It's on happy hour there. It's basically like enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. We're ripping you off. I could have got I buy those regularly. That's the beer of the beer of choice that I buy. It is $16 for 15 of them. So I could have got for $72, just some simple math there. I could have got almost 5 boxes. So 5 times 15, you do the simple math. Yeah. Anyways, that's how my trip started.
That's like 90
And
beers.
that's after an Uber. I know that's after Ubering to SeaTac. Do you want to know how much that Uber was?
Oh, man. Uber from to SeaTac? What is that,
Basically, it was over
$80?
100. It was over $100. I don't even. I'm gonna be honest. Washington again. They're doing a little too much for me. But anywho, that's how my trip starts. I get here, I get to the hotel at around 1:30.
Mhm,
I ease in, I take a quick shower, and I get ready for bed. Watch a little tennis, watch a little Aussie Open before I
mhm,
hit the hay. It's a great time, by the way. Aussie Open right into Super Bowl. It's one of the best times in the sport. In the last week of January, first week of February. I love it. Um, So I wake up this morning. I actually met some people before the game that I contacted on a Patriots forum, and they were awesome. It was awesome. I Ubered over to a bar about a half mile from the stadium, and this one of the guys was super super cool. One of his buddies came, and then we walked to the stadium at about noon. I'll tell you this, the stadium, the process to get in was terrible.
mm.
They did not have any restrictions on who could cut. It was basically just free for all. So people with kids got absolutely screwed because they were trying to respect the rules. I respected the rules, I kid you not, and I regretted it because I got in basically 5 minutes before kickoff, and I could have got in the stadium about 45 minutes before kickoff because how people were just like jumping the line, and that's where the negativity pretty much ends outside of the cold weather. So everything else is positive. I was in I had a great seat, a great view of the game, and it was just football weather. Where
Yeah.
what I mean by that is that it's the greatest sport to watch on TV, and it's a beautiful sport. And I had a great time. I could not feel any of my extremities. I went pee, and I think I had an inverse penis. It was so cold that my feet probably were purple until I went to the bar afterwards. I I actually asked ChatGPT how I should get ready for this game, and they're like, "You need feet warmers if you're wearing those shoes." Because I said, "These are the shoes," and I said, get out of town." And of course, they were. I mean, AI is right about some things. I should have had feet warmers. At halftime, I'm just going to talk about my experience, not during the game, but at halftime, I walked around the stadium asking workers, "Are there anywhere to buy hand warmers or feet warmers?" And they're like, "I don't know." Now I was wearing Patriot stuff. They knew. They just did not want. They wanted me to be. They wanted to terrorize my ass. But I ended up I ended up finding hand warmers off a Patriots fan, and I offered to Venmo him, and he's like, "Nah, you're a Pats fan, man." I said, "Hey, gracias," and I ended up going back to my seat, and I couldn't feel my feet. But that second half was brutal in terms of temperature, and it was all worth it because they won at the end. And I'll say this: throughout the game, Stidham had a great pass on like the second drive, an absolute dart, and it felt eerily similar to 2016 when I went to this very same game with my friend Rowan, and I was very nervous when they went up 7-0. I guess they were losing to the Texans early in that game, and they just couldn't get nothing clicking on offense. And I'm just gonna say, like, we're not gonna really talk about our Super Bowl predictions right now and how we feel. This line, the pre Super Bowl line, has already moved up a point for the Seahawks. I think that everybody should throw this game out just based on that nobody could have moved the ball in this weather. It was terrible weather. There was crosswinds. You couldn't kick in it. Um, it switched on a dime. Like 1 minute it would be going left to right, the other minute it'd be going right to left. It became a blizzard quickly, especially at the end of the first half and the entire second half. So first half, I mean, Drake May did not play well. Um, really, really much at all. Like I can't really comment on how the quality of the game was, the quality of the football. That was a real bad weather football game where um, if you put any two teams, the best teams in the history of football, quality wise, like you could put the 2007 Patriots against the 2019 or 18 Chiefs, whatever. You're going to have probably a similar score. It'll probably be like 17-13 or something. There'd be more offense, but it'd be very hard to get points. It's hard to throw the ball in that weather, and it's very hard to move the ball. You can't kick the ball. So I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to make excuses for the performance out there, but that was brutal. And it was amazing. Again, all the fans around me, very, very friendly. They shit talked, but they shit talked and they were like, sorry. They said that they're like Canadian shit talkers. And I was like, dude, it's all good. Like, I'm not defending the performance right now. And you guys have Jared Stidham. Like, dude, I'm not gonna shit talk him. Like
Yeah.
it would be sacrilegious for me to be like, hey, Jared Stidham, you suck. Like, what am I
Yeah.
gonna say to him? Of course he sucks. Everybody knows that. Nobody's in
Yeah.
here saying like Stidham, you got this. Everybody knew he didn't
Yeah.
have this. But um it was awesome. I mean, the defense played well. It feels great to. It's not again making Super Bowls is not. I made the joke right when I introduced it, Darren. Packers haven't made the Super Bowl since 2011. They're in the playoffs every year, it seems. And
Mhm.
this is not to say like showing the Packers moment, but it's like the 49ers are in the playoffs every year. They've made two Super Bowls in this in
Mhm.
this time period. The Rams, who just had a chance to make another Super Bowl, they've made the Super Bowl twice in this time
Mhm.
period.
Yeah.
I mean, I do want to shit talk a little bit here. Josh Allen has never made a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson has never made a Super Bowl. You know who from the draft class has made a Super Bowl now? Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
So it, uh, I'm just saying it's
Yeah.
not easy to make a Super Bowl. So when everybody's going to talk about the schedule, they haven't played anybody. Well, they just not played anybody in a path to get into the Super Bowl. So we can keep doing that dilly dallying about not playing. That's fine. They got lucky, sure. I think if Bo Nix plays in this game, the best the Broncos could have wished for is honestly, the best they could have wished for is probably 3 extra points, which gets them into overtime. The TV and everything doesn't do it justice. I'm not trying to act like I'm the the only person that can advocate for how bad the conditions were, but it was incredibly crazy out there. And I think I've been to like 4 or 5 NFL games now. Cold weather is fine. And the first half, it was cold and windy. The wind's hard to play in. It's hard to kick in wind. I know that, but
Mhm.
it's okay to play in wind. When it was snowing like that, and it's not just normal snow, it's
Yeah.
like it was incredibly like sticky, wet snow to where
Yeah.
you saw people trip. It it was impossible playing conditions to where that's like I can't believe I can't believe they were able to move the ball at all on any
Mhm.
play. The fact that there weren't players slipping every play is a testament to how great to how great of athletes they are on both sides. But um, yeah, I mean, this is unbelievable that Drake May and the Patriots and Vrabel and everybody won this game. So I've just spoken a lot. I'm very happy with my experience, and it was good. I love. It felt like a real football weather game. You don't get to
Yeah.
experience these that much in life, and as much as like the quality of it, right? Winning 10-7 is not something you want to be like, woo, 10-7. You don't remember the score at the end of the day. If they actually end up winning the Super Bowl, you're just going to say like, oh yeah, I saw them get to the Super Bowl, and then hopefully they win the Super Bowl. So, what did
Yeah.
you think watching this game? How did you feel watching? Did you think the Patriots had a grasp on the win when they late in the third, fourth quarter, or did you think that they were going to choke it away?
No, I mean, once they took the lead, once they took the 10-7 lead, the Broncos, they legit couldn't move the ball, and those second half conditions, like you said, they looked horrible on TV, and Tony Romo kept going on and on and on about it, and he just, I felt like every other thing he was talking about was the wind and the snow and all this stuff.
Dude.
So yeah, so I mean, like, you could see that it was pretty bad, and again, the Broncos offense just looked horrendous. Like they couldn't run the ball like at all, like not even in the slightest. And the play action rollout stuff like that worked, the first two drives they had a little bit of success, and they did have the one nice drive, the one big play, I guess, that kind of set them up to score a touchdown. And it was a great throw. That was the highlight of the first half. The first half was a pretty tough watch, to be honest. I think I sent this in the group chat with you and Greg. It was before the outcome of the play had happened, so it's not like looking back hindsight. On that fourth down, if you're Sean Payton, I mean, you obviously don't know that, a blizzard is imminent and it's about to completely change. Were they
Can I say
talking
something?
about that?
Yeah, real quick. I mean,
Yeah.
I just talked too long to not even mention this. Guy sitting to my left. Honestly, I think a very rich man. I do not know
Hmm.
his name, but I think he bought the seats. There was an ADA section in front of us, and I think he bought the seats for everybody in front of us. I'm not sure, but he knew like 7 people in front of us. He said to me, he's like, "Oh, we're gonna get snow in like 30 minutes. It looks bad." This was in the first half. This was before
Yeah.
that fourth down play. And I said, "How do you know?" And he's like, "My friend lives 30 minutes from here, and he just texted me a picture of this." And it was his deck, and it was legit like 7 inches of snow. And I'm like, if you're Sean Payton, you're the coach of the Broncos, how do you not have a meteorologist in the booth saying like, "Hey,
Yeah.
Sean, there's going to be a foot of snow coming. Like it's going
Yeah.
to start blizzarding. There's a blizzard 30 minutes from here, and this is Denver weather." I don't know Denver weather, but that guy knew it, and he's a random dude sitting to my left.
Hmm.
I'm just saying. Continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I mean, I think that's something that you have to look at before the game. I'm not going to fault Sean Payton for not knowing that, like, in the game. Like, I don't think that it's necessarily fair to be like, okay, well, there's a chance that we might get a blizzard. I should probably take the point. I think the fact that you should have taken the points is you have Jarrett Stidham playing quarterback, and you can go up 2 scores on the hottest team in football right now. What are you doing, dude? You're at home. You're not on the road trying to steal an extra possession. You are at home. Yes, you might be an underdog at home. You have a backup quarterback. Take the points where you can get them. The Patriots defense has been phenomenal this entire playoffs. What are you doing? And and then he didn't take the points. He went for it, and he had an egregious play call. Like, it was a clunky try to bootleg play action that it was nothing. Nothing was open on that. Not if he had a chance to turn around and even get outside of the pocket, nothing was open. They're completely blanketed, and then he got, he launched the ball at interception, not interception, whatever. Bad, bad, bad call right there. You just, I don't
Uh,
know.
like I like I thought, and I said this, the person sitting to my right was one of the nicest guys that I've actually watched a football game with, except for the end. He then got very sour. He's like, well, of course, fucking Jared Stidham wasn't gonna win this game, and I was like, hey, man, it's all good. I was trying to tell you, but he he's I thought we were. He said, "What do you think they're gonna do here?" And I was like, well, when they called the timeout, I thought they were gonna come back out when they sent the offense back out there to try to get them to jump off sides. I thought they were just going to do a hard count and then send people in motion, do that
Mhm.
whole mumbo jumbo,
Yeah.
um, and then take the 5 yard penalty, kick the field goal. When they ran the play, I was before the outcome. I know it's like a 3 second, like 1, 2, 3, and then the play's over. But I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it. I felt so lucky, especially when it was Stidham in like a bootleg, right? It
Yeah.
wasn't even a handoff, even though you can't really run on this defense right now. It feels like that's a real key to in the Super Bowl matchup that we're gonna end up talking about with Greg and with you and everything. Um, when they didn't hand the ball off and the ball's in Stidham's hands, and there's two things that is gonna happen here because it's gonna be a run or it's gonna be a play action. There's no way they're gonna just drop him back to throw. I felt so good about that, and this is all, like, straight split-second immediate thing, like but I couldn't believe that they ran a play. I could not believe that they did that, and it
Well,
made me think that Sean I couldn't believe it.
you're probably hoping that they were gonna go for it.
Yeah, yeah.
You're like, "Yes, please go for this. Please."
Oh, yeah, they got earlier in that drive, they got a 3rd and 2, I think, or 3rd and 1 on, like, the 40-yard line, and when they got that, I was pissed off because I was like, "Damn it, now they're in field goal range." Because I was like,
Yeah,
points are gonna come at a premium. I already knew because of how because genuinely how cold it was. I thought the Patriots were gonna score a lot of points against Denver going into this game, because Denver's defense has been a little lackluster lately, and the weather conditions were terrible. Just a terrible weather game, and it's cold is one thing, but it was so windy, and then the wind picked up in the snow, but I didn't know the snow was happening. I knew it was gonna be windy. The wind chill was gonna be bad, and I was when they got in field goal range, I was like, 10 points. I thought the Patriots would score more than 10, but I was like, it's gonna be like I thought they would get to 17, maybe. But at some point you start just doing math and I was like, fuck, they're gonna be up 10-0. That's 2 possessions
yeah,
again. And then I was like, Patriots get the ball out of half. But still, I started getting nervous.
yeah.
And so I was very happy that they went for that 4th down, and I could not believe it. Sorry, I did not mean to
Yeah.
cut you off, but
Oh,
yeah.
no. No, I mean, I think the game, it kinda came down to that decision, which is silly because it's like a first half, you know, a first half decision. But I mean, looking back on it, I would say the game like really changed on that singular play, especially with the final score being what it was, 10-7. And then the Jarrett Stidham backwards pass, like that was an absolutely horrendous play. Those are the plays that, like, again, the guys who, in the most respectful way I can say it, like, they're not NFL caliber players, like Max Brosmer, Clayton Tune, Jarrett Stidham has now kind of entered into that category where it's like, "Hey, man, you gotta know when you can just take the sack. Go down. Take a sack. You're not gonna play hero ball. At the very best, you're gonna get an intentional grounding by doing that two-handed push pass. Like, what are we doing here?" So, I just think that so much of that comes with, like, playing more and, like, being, like the quarterbacks who are really good, I feel like they always know the time, where they are, what they need to do. Drake May, perfect example. Was it the end of the first half when he was running and he slid down with they called timeout with 1 second? That's a quarterback who is, like, cerebral and is well aware of the time and the down and the distance and all that kind of stuff at any given moment and exactly where they are on the field. He's like, "I'm not gonna get out of bounds. I gotta slide." He's looking at the clock while he's running. It's the exact opposite of Jarrett Stidham panic throwing a football while having 2 linemen hanging on to. It's the exact opposite, and it's like, dude, that just shows yes, he's in the NFL, but it just shows you the gap mentally of, like, how much, like, mental capacity, like, these high-end quarterbacks have versus other guys who may also, again, they're in the NFL, like, that's a great accomplishment, but the gap between them is completely absurd to be able to look at the clock, "No, we have 1 timeout left. I gotta slide so we have a chance at a long field goal." It didn't turn into points, but it turned into the opportunity for points, and
Yeah.
the other one
Yeah, I thought
turned
that
into
field goal
points
was
for the
through
other
too,
team.
by the way. I can't believe that missed. I thought Borregales made that field goal
Mm,
when he kicked it. I thought that went
yeah,
through, and I was like, "That missed?" I know it missed. I'm not
yeah,
questioning if it missed or not, but I was like, I thought I thought he got that. I know it had the
mhm,
distance.
yeah,
Yeah, that was the last kick that had a chance
I
in the
know.
entire game. It was the last kick that actually had any chance.
I know.
And, that second half, like, when Will Lutz actually, I'm not even kidding.
Actually, that one was blocked. The Will Lutz one on the replay showed that it got tipped. The one that he missed
Yeah,
the
yeah,
45-yard or whatever it was in the
his
snow.
final chance.
Yeah, I think that one would have probably maybe have gone. You have no idea. It got tipped. That's why it was like that weird knuckleball that died off to the side.
So it looked to me, again, like, that was on the other side of the field, so I was, like, on the 30-ish yard line. but it looked to
Mhm.
me that the snap was pretty bad and the hold was
It was.
terrible. And so
It
that kind of
was.
was a bad it was a bad order of operations for the to be blocked in the first place. But
Yeah.
it might have gone through. It was just I actually oddly, and I don't like if you watch football games with me or you listen to this, I don't know. I don't know what my heart rate was. It was probably not that high. I was probably hypothermic. So I was probably beating at like 27 beats a minute actually. But for what it's worth, I was oddly not nervous that he was going to make that kick because I did not have any confidence in kickers. The
Yeah.
only kicker or person that was touching the ball with his leg that was doing anything good was the punter for the Broncos, who was just
Yeah.
line driving things. And the wind somehow was just on his side the entire time. The punter for the Patriots was just kicking the ball just straight up in the air, and it was awful. I mean, it's some like at least sometimes it got like 30 yards downfield, and that's really all you needed. But good lord. Anyways, I'm
Man.
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh,
You're
no.
going through your,
Oh,
but yeah, that was
on
funny though. I was like, yeah.
on that take, one of the one of the punts that he had when he like shanked it pretty bad, like out of like it just like went basically like straight out of bounds. And you know how on TV where it cuts to the ref and they're running up the sideline, he just kept going and going and going all the way up to go mark. I've never understood how do they mark that? How do they know where the ball? I've never understood
So
that.
before they just guess, now there's actually like a sensor I think in the ball.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure there's a sensor now. And
Yeah.
by the way, do you want to know my reaction to that?
Can't imagine it was great.
No, I yelled, "You got me fucking good. You got one fucking job." So I started cussing. I was like cussing at myself too. Again, all Broncos fans, not a single Patriots fan inside. I'm just yelling at myself. But that's it's pretty funny. It's also, by the way, when you're in a opposing team's home, especially in a playoff scenario, it was probably 30% Patriots fans. I don't know what it looked like on TV. I don't know. It was very loud though. Like it was still very loud when the Patriots offense was on the field.
Yeah.
But before the game, I didn't like. I'm gonna be particular. I didn't like that before the game. A lot of Koi fans, a lot of fans saying like, "Hey, go Pats," like saying, "We got this." And it's like
Yeah.
I'm kind of like I felt like we had it, but I wasn't like I'm not a boisterous asshole about it. Like I'm not like,
Yeah.
yeah, Jared Stidham sucks ass. We got this. I was actually like like they have a good defense. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be a hard game. We're playing on the road to the AFC Championship game. These are for free. But if you're gonna be doing what people would did after the game, I was like, you got to be doing that before the game too. Now people were doing that after the game though. You got brothers, you got people all around you just say like, woo, fuck them up, kid your trap to
Yeah.
cover your trap. Everybody's doing that. It's like this our home now. I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm just like I dap everybody up. I met a lot
Yeah.
of friends. Everybody. I
Yeah.
didn't know I had so many friends, Darren. A lot of friends. A lot of friends in Denver now.
I bet you if Bo Nix was playing, Patriots fans would have been a little bit more cocky going into the game and like more, you know, out like the only problem is you have to play it a
Yeah.
little coy because if for whatever reason Jarrett Stidham is able to pull one out, that's a bad loss.
Like I said, like I said, if
Yeah.
that would have happened, Jim Nance and Tony Romo would have been announcing some other things during that game. But also on the flip side though, you're right. Last year or last time I was at this stadium in 2016, there was a group of about six 6 to 12. I'm not gonna say 6 or 7. There was a lot of big, vigorous fellas that were like, "Welcome to the Payne Man's retirement party." Out in front of the stadium, just yelling it, and it's like, step to them, like they were probably like 6'5", like 300 pounds, and they were like, but they were like dad strong, you know. They're
Yeah.
like they're basically the Patriots' offensive line was out in front of the stadium.
Yeah.
So there was none of that today, or yeah, there was none of that today. No, it was a fun experience, and I ran over to the celebration afterwards. They cut the PA system off though, which was funny. You couldn't hear them on
Wow.
over the speakers, which is like fucked up. But the Broncos would have won, that would have worked. And you got to hear the very end of Vrabel, and then you heard some of Drake May. But it was awesome. I mean, I'm very happy for the fellas. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. I don't
Yeah,
know how many times they're gonna play in this game. I mean, I hope it's multiple times that they get to play in the AFC Championship game, get to the Super Bowl. But again, you don't want to take these for granted.
yeah.
Again, like how I say this not to talk shit. How many did Rodgers actually play? Did he make it one Super Bowl or did he play it two?
Just one,
That's what I'm
just one.
saying.
Yeah,
Does that make sense to you? Does that compute? That does
yeah.
not make
No,
sense.
it's absurd. It's the biggest. Brett Favre won
He
one
made
Super.
two,
Oh yeah, he made two, won one.
right?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he made two. It's absurd. I mean, the Packers had two, of the top 10 guys all time. I mean, at least at the time
That have
when,
made three Super Bowls. Yeah.
yeah, and made three Super Bowls over the course of 20 some odd years.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's crazy. The stuff is
Wow.
not easy. It doesn't happen. It takes a lot of things to break right for you, and it takes your quarterback not being a choke artist ayahuasca addict either. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm
You need
sorry,
to
Aaron.
be
You didn't deserve that.
need to be on other drugs
Yeah.
like beer.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. So, anyways, that's it for the podcast today. We don't need to do the other game. It happened. Just uh no, it was a fun game though. I had a good time. I enjoyed Denver. It's a good city. I think I had a great all the Uber drivers. I had a great Uber driver over to the bar today. She was so nice. She talked to me about what she does like during the week. She's doing this to save up for a new car,
Mhm.
and she works with developmentally disabled people during the week, and she was the nicest person. She's from Atlanta, and she just moved here to make more money doing that, and she was so nice. I was like, wow, that's awesome. I don't usually tip Uber drivers like
Yeah.
20%, but I tipped her 20%. I was like, hey, thank you. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
there you go.
Good conversation. And yeah, all the people that I hung out with, yeah, they're all nice. So I like Denver and I good
Yeah.
experiences. So last time I was here, I similar like it was a great time. But yeah, go Pats. I mean, I'm very happy they beat Jarrett Stidham. I don't know if that comes through uh
Yeah.
directly because it would not have been a happy podcast had they lost
Yeah.
that game. I was very nervous at one point, and then in the second half I wasn't as nervous because the defense was so good. I was thinking if Drake May wasn't getting success against the Broncos defense, I was like, how is Stidham going to get success when they cannot run the ball? And the last to put a button on this, and it's really more so like we didn't talk too much about the game
Mhm.
outside of the fourth down and the kicking. Um, that Patriots defense is it has to be ranking up there. And I don't like doing the all-time metrics, but nobody
Yeah.
takes this Patriots defense seriously, like in terms of where they actually, I think, are. You can't run on this Patriots defense with Milton Williams, and I don't think many people know who Milton Williams is. And it's he should be getting so much coverage leading up to the Super Bowl because he left the Eagles. The Eagles sucked.
Mhm.
He played in the first 7 or 8 Patriots games. You couldn't run on him. He got hurt. He comes back, you can't run on him. Maybe he's maybe he's the best defensive tackle in football. I don't know. Maybe that's just what it is. He pushes everybody back. I don't know
Mhm.
the guards for the for the Seahawks. I should figure out who they are, and I should start watching how they play because that's going to be probably the matchup that decides the Super Bowl, especially on the offense defense for Seattle. I know they have the rookie. They drafted that rookie from
Mhm.
North Dakota State, I think, and
Yeah.
he's good. I think he's good, but um, yeah, that's my key takeaway. It's like this front four for the Patriots is actually legitimate and unbelievable, and they're not getting I don't think they're getting the credit that they should get. It's more so people are doing Stidham sucks. I'm fine with Stidham sucking. Okay, whatever. But Stidham isn't as bad as he showed. The weather is going to take a lot of stuff out of what people consider about this game. But if you just watch the pushback on the number one offensive line in football, again, the Broncos had the best offensive line this season by every
Mhm.
metric. They went pass block win rate, run block win rate. They're
Mhm.
great. They were not winning any run blocks. They were getting blasted off the line. Pass blocks, Stidham had time a few times, but it was very, very, very seldom to where he was actually able to sit back there. That's not the best offensive line in football, right? Like that's not what you usually see. And you go against the Texans, you go against the Chargers. The Chargers have a terrible offensive line, and the Texans have a pretty bad offensive line. But if you just watch those, just I mean, the clips are all over Twitter. They're all over anything you want from any social media site you use for the analytics department. It just every single snap it seems you're just getting pushed 2 yards in the backfield. If that happens against Seattle and Sam Darnold, it's going to be hard for him to be successful. It's hard for any quarterback to be successful. Mahomes and Tom Brady are probably the two best quarterbacks ever. And look at when Brady's lost Super Bowls. The Eagles, the Giants twice. And both those games, it's been basic. I guess the Eagles game, he had 500 yards, so that you throw that one out. But he still was getting pressured. He just was able to step up in the pocket sometimes. But
Mhm.
those two Giants games, the way the way they lost was pressure with four. And in Mahomes' case, it's been talked about forever, and we talked about it on the podcast last year and before we even did the podcast together. But it's like it's just pressure through the
Mhm.
defensive line, and Darnold is not Mahomes, and he's not Brady. And that's not trying to say like who's going to win the Super Bowl or not. But if the Patriots defensive line is playing like they've played through the first three playoff games, it's not the Rams, it's not the 49ers. It's a lot better than those teams, and they should be looked at in a different way. And maybe Drake May doesn't need to be the perfect player because he has not been so far in the playoffs to win this game. That's all I'm saying. Because that Seahawks defense is scary too. And I don't think he's going to be as
Yeah.
great against simulated pressures as Stafford is, right? Just for what it's worth. He can't read defenses like Stafford.
Yeah. I yeah. I mean, yeah, we can kinda use the transition into the Seahawks game. I think Sam Darnold today, I think he showed, I mean, not only, like, people and us and, like, fans and the media, but probably more importantly himself, that, like, "Hey, I do belong here. I can show up in big games," and he balled out today. He had a fantastic game today, and I think he really needed to have one of these games in the playoffs where he just lights it up to kind of give himself the hope and the belief. Because again, that's been the whole thing. Sam Darnold, choker, don't trust him. And he was sensational today. He played fantastic. I know the Rams defense isn't like, they're not full of killers, but they're quality defense. They're not like a horrendous defense by any means. And he played great. He didn't put the ball in harm's way. They are cooking up some fun stuff on that Seattle offense. The lining up JSN in the backfield and the motions and really putting their linebackers and their safeties in binds using JSN and stuff like that, I think is a really fun wrinkle that you can do when you have a receiver who is as good as him. And I think more teams are probably gonna, it's basically what the 49ers do with Christian McCaffrey is like, hey, I have Christian McCaffrey, and he's lined up at running back, but he's basically another receiver back here too, and you are able to stress that middle of the defense so much because he's such a good receiver out of the backfield, and that's basically, I think, just what the Seahawks are now doing with JSN and putting him back there a little bit. Their defense looked good. They're a little sketch at the end.
I don't
Um,
know if they look good, but
I mean,
they looked okay.
they
Stafford's different though.
yeah, they were a little sketch at the end, and also, again, it's like Puka, so he catches everything, so he's kind of a cheat code. I also too, this game should not have been as close as it was. Tariq Woolen committing one of the worst, like, penalties in one of the worst spots and then having one of the worst outcome, like, he committed he had a good play, whatever. He gets up and he's like talking shit to Matt Stafford, like in his face and the entire Rams sideline. Gets flagged to 15 yards, and then Stafford throws a touchdown to Puka on him on the very next play. It's like, dude, how are you going to do
That's
this?
one
You
of the
went
that
from
that that's pretty funny.
it was very funny, but it's like if you're on that Seahawks defense, you're just like, whew, we just got to stop in this game that they're fighting back, they're not dying, and the next thing you
Well,
know, it's like
for what it's
get
worth though,
burnt.
on that same front though, I would say that is a crazy that's a crazy position. That's a crazy thing that happened. The other thing is the Rams fumble on the punt where the guy just falls
Yeah.
backwards. So I
Yeah.
mean, I think the I think the Rams thing probably offsets a little more than that. So I think there was two crazy things that happened there.
For
If you look
sure.
at the stats, if you look at just pure stat wise, this is a crazy even game. I think
Mhm.
total yards, the Rams had a lot more total yards, but passing yards, Rams had 40 more. They had more rushing yards, more yards per play, but then first downs, 26 to 24. Third down conversions, the Seahawks were 7 for 13. Rams were only 1 for 8. Total plays, Seahawks ran more. But then you go penalties, 4 for 30, 6 for 50. The fumble, the turnovers, right? They had one turnover, and that's the big thing. And you just go to the stats. Stafford was 22 for 35 for 374, 3 touchdowns. Darnold, 25 for 36, 346 for 3 touchdowns. Did I say things different there? It sounds like I said the exact same thing, right? It was very close.
Yeah.
Their ratings, I know it's just quarterback rating, 127.6 and 127.8. I mean,
Yeah.
and then JSN, 10 catches, 153 for a touchdown. Puka, 9 catches, 165 for a touchdown. It's just unbelievable. Like, they were going shot for shot. It was like basically, when you if hey, you do jujitsu, right? So it's like if you're if you're watching boxing or if you're watching UFC or if you're watching jujitsu, the thing is you do round scoring. This is basically a 12-round championship fight.
Mhm.
Seahawks won 7-5.
Yeah.
How I look at it, and it was a close game. It was an even game. I think these teams are equally matched. I think they match up well on their strengths against each other's weaknesses. And I don't think that they're evenly good. I think the Seahawks are a better football team. I think the things the Seahawks do really well are things Stafford and the Rams offense are able to negate though. And that's the most important thing. So
Yeah.
he can read those defenses. He can read that defense forever. And there's like only a few quarterbacks left in football that can do it. Flacco, where are you?
I
But
know.
like, I think Flacco could do it. Flacco's going to tear that defense apart. But that's the thing. There's not many left, and I genuinely mean that can actually read defense the way Seattle does it. There's going to be so many copycats of Mike McDonald's defense coming
Mhm.
forward. Like there's going to just be people lining people up on the line of scrimmage, playing nickel and dime, and making so you can't. It doesn't matter if people go big. Derrick Henrys don't exist. There's no Derrick Henrys. They don't grow on trees. So we're gonna look at a copycat league on defense now. It's gonna be the same thing with McVay and Shanahan, but it's gonna be defensively with Mike McDonald because he's created a defense here that only old quarterbacks can read because young quarterbacks cannot read defenses. But
Yeah.
Stafford's a cheat code to where he can read this and he can read any defense because you can't trick a cerebral guy, a guy that has eyes on the back of his head. But here's the thing: the Rams defense just is broken down and it can't actually stop things anymore. And Sam Darnold, you're right. I think you're spot on with that. It's like I don't think he wakes up in the morning and talks and gives himself affirmations of like I'm gonna suck today or I'm gonna be great today. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
suck. I'm gonna be great today. But I think this was big for him.
Yeah.
The 49ers game wasn't a test. He threw the ball what 15 times. It
That game
was
was over
basically
before it even started.
yeah, that was first kickoff. Yeah, exactly. And once you Seattle's home field advantage in a playoff game is you can't really put a metric on it, but once you get rolling in a game like that, it kind of like torpedo or it like picks up momentum and
Yeah.
steams down a hill, and that game was done. But the thing is, in this game, you're actually playing against a team that's kind of had your number, even though you won a game against them. You've thrown a lot of picks. You
He's had
really
2
haven't played
stinkers
your best.
against him. 2 stinkers
Yeah,
against the Rams.
yeah, yeah, and today you didn't have a stinker, and you know, like I said, I am Sam. It was great. You played a phenomenal game of football, and I respect it, and I actually think I actually genuinely am like hyped up for this. I think it's in the Super Bowl, it's going to be a matchup of strength on strengths, weaknesses on weaknesses. I'm excited for it, but uh, not to jump ahead about the Super Bowl, but that's just my
Mhm.
like my initial response to this game was it was fun. It was awesome to watch. I thought
Yeah.
it was really just it was like heavyweights like haymakering each other
Yeah.
for a long time. And even at the end, you still kind of felt like I don't know if you felt like this, but they had like what was it, 35 seconds or 25 seconds. I was like, there's a chance they can get into like Hail Mary range, and I'm not gonna put it past him from being able to complete this to Puka. You knew the ball was gonna go to Puka and a Hail Mary. It might go to
Yeah.
Adams. They're gonna put them on different sides of the field, and it's gonna go one of the duh.
Mhm.
No, they're gonna throw it underneath and do it like a hook and ladder to Stafford. No. You know that would you put it past them catching that?
I mean,
That would happen.
Puka's knee was this far from landing out of bounds on that last play of the game. If his knee goes out of bounds there, they hit the ball on the 50-yard line. Stafford's getting it there for sure. That's Hail Mary with 7 seconds left or whatever.
And by the way, Puka might be the most a massive psychopath. He knew that his knee was down in bounds because of how fast he ran back to the line of scrimmage. Like he knew that his knee was down,
Yeah,
and it was down by like this. It was down by
I
legit
know.
2 inches,
It
and
was
he just
close.
He knew it. He knew that it wasn't even an option. He was like, yeah, I'm down. He knew it immediately. It's
I know.
unbelievable.
Yeah. He's
God,
still good, dude. He's an absolute freak.
he's the hand. So w- we talked about this, I think, and we're like, well, Jefferson and Chase are the best receivers still because they have the bodies and the route trees and the hands. But I don't even know anymore. I actually don't know if football rewards that the same way. It's like if Calvin Johnson played today, is Calvin Johnson better than Puka? I mean, Calvin Johnson's unbelievable, but I don't know. I don't know. I actually can't. I
I
can't.
mean, what route can Puka not run? Like realistically, Puka can run the entire route tree. He can also block like defensive
Yeah, that's
ends.
true.
He'll crack back on defensive ends. He's a freak. He catches
Yeah,
everything. He's I put him in the same category with the hands of like Jefferson and Chase, where it's like, hey, he'll find a way to come down with the ball. Like
yeah,
he's
and Jason can't block like that, but Jason also catches legit every single thing thrown at him anywhere.
yeah. Yeah, did
Some
you
of
see
those
his
catches he
one-handed
made were
catch
like,
today? That was sick.
yeah, he made there was the degree of difficulty and so, and then I'm just gonna say like, obviously the Rams lost this game, but some of the catches that were being made, not just by Puka, but like mostly Puka, it was mostly Puka, but like
Yeah.
some of the windows Stafford was throwing the ball into were unbelievable. And you do have to give him like a tip of the hat to like, man, you balled out today. And then some of the catches that just everybody was making, it was not just QB play. Like a lot, most of the time, you just give the compliment to the chef, right? You're like, good job,
Mhm.
nice toss. But like JSN caught a ball where he was in between three guys and he was going to get hit, and it was a great catch. It was a great throw, great catch. JSN's also one of the guys where it's like his route tree is unbelievable, and it's like not a real route tree on Madden, right? If you're trying to like
Mhm.
audible routes, you could
Yeah.
do post, corner,
Yeah.
go, curl,
Yeah.
and then if you're like I don't know about new Maddens, but on the old Maddens, if you were a great receiver, you could sometimes do four extra routes where it'd be like
Mhm.
a double move. Well, what JSN does and Puka and like some like those two in particular, they do like triple moves on people where they're
Yeah.
able to open up hips where it shouldn't even be real. Like it shouldn't be able to happen, and they do it quite often. And again, not trying to look like forward into this future for the Super Bowl, but it's like that's the key matchup for the Seahawks, right? It's like how can you thwart both like defensively to the offense? I think the run game is going to be hard for Seattle to get by just because they only have one running back still, but it's how are you going to cover JSN? Gonzalez is
Mhm.
I don't know if he made the all pro team, he should have. He's an all pro caliber cornerback, but it doesn't matter if it's an all pro caliber cornerback. You like he catches it no matter what. You need to
Yeah.
be better than just one guy. You need to bracket him. You need to do whatever you can do and make other people beat you than JSN. And if you're the Seahawks, it's like, well, good luck.
Yeah.
Like you can't really stop him. It's
Yeah.
legitimately impossible to stop this guy. I don't even know where I don't know what pick he was drafted. There was probably receivers taken above him, and I'm gonna look this. You can look this up, or yeah, you
Yeah.
look it up. But yeah, it's just unbelievable to watch these guys. I know Puka was like a fifth rounder, I think, and it's
Yeah.
to me, um, What's crazy is there's so many good receivers that get drafted late in the draft, and it's like, how are there bums that get drafted in the first round?
I know.
Like, how does that happen? I don't get it. How is Puka not a first round pick? Like,
Yeah.
was he the first? Was JSN the first receiver taken in that draft? Let's read me the picks of that draft. I think it was 2024. So he's last
It
year.
was 2023, so that was Bryce
Okay.
Young, CJ Stroud, Will Anderson, Anthony Richardson, Devon Witherspoon, Harris
Okay.
Johnson Jr.
Oh, Christian Gonzalez was in that draft. No.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Um,
honestly, he should have been the second pick. I think Will Anderson goes first and he goes second.
he actually was the first receiver. He was the first receiver taken, followed by Quentin Johnston and Zay Flowers
Okay.
and Jordan Addison were the picks that
Mm,
went right after him.
okay. Okay. Oh yeah, I remember that now. It's four
Yeah.
straight receivers, right? Was that it? Four
Yeah.
straight in a row? Yeah.
Yeah.
That the rental receivers. Yeah. Well, sorry for the Chargers. I mean, like
Yeah.
I don't know. That
Yeah. I mean, he's clearly sensational, and yeah, the way he runs his routes, and he like him and Puka do the same thing where like all the good receivers do this. They make their breaks at like full speed, and they're able to also make like when they're running straight, they also can make it look like they're turning at the same time. Like I don't know how to describe it, but
yeah,
like
yeah.
he did it on one of his
I
deep
think I know what you're saying.
when he's like he starts like leaning like he's about to like go into an out route, and then he just comes back in and like goes underneath the defender who goes to jump what he thinks is about to be an out route. And
It
clearly
pisses
all
me
these
off.
guys
It pisses me
know
off.
this. Yeah, like they run their routes to look the same. And I imagine there's corners when they're like, okay, I know this formation. They run, an out route out of this formation, you know, this much of the time when they're lined up like this. Because that's the stuff that these guys in film are looking at. They're looking at percentages, and these corners, they play percentages oftentimes when they're looking at the receiver. And the really good receivers, I'm sure, are like, okay, well, you know, we run a lot of this out of this formation. Like they have their own stats and stuff that coaches coach them up on. And I'm sure that's part of why they set up moves the way that they do. And that's just absurd.
It, I say this like half jokingly, half honestly. I'm obviously not a cornerback. I want to just like be in front of a receiver once, like of that caliber, and just see how I would cover that. Me personally. Not anybody, not just watching it because I watched football today, and I mean, obviously, like I didn't watch Puka and JSN, but I'm
You
just
want
saying
to
in
know what
general,
you'd
I
look
want
like
to
out
cover.
there?
No, I don't. I don't. I would have
Go
no
watch
need.
Keyshawn Nixon highlights. Go watch some Keyshawn Nixon
Wow,
plays.
thank you. I'd be a millionaire. I'd be a millionaire
Yeah,
athlete. Thank you.
good enough
You
to make the
know,
Packers
when I was
defense.
walking. Hey, thank you. You got a nice new defensive coordinator today, by the way. Congratulations. You see the news? That's a good.
Unfortunately, I
I like
did.
that hire. That's a good hire.
Okay, small tangent here. The Packers need a defensive coordinator who has some cojones. They needed Robert Saleh. They needed somebody. They needed a man. They need
He's
some.
got the head coaching
LaFleur.
job.
This guy. Have you not watched it? Did you see his Hard Knocks? He's the biggest dweeb ever. I'm.
Does Jonathan Gannon have eyebrows, or is he hairless completely?
I think he has eyebrows, but
So
he's a
let me ask you
dweeb.
this.
I'm not
Let me ask
getting
you this.
fired up to play for that guy. Piss me
Okay,
off.
I have a good question for you.
Yeah.
You want your defensive coordinator to not be bald, right? You want him to look like an outdoorsman. You want him to
No,
have like a massive bush.
I want
You think Jonathan Gannon's too manicured, huh? You think he cleans up too much?
I want like a drill sergeant level defensive coordinator. I want a hard ass defensive coordinator.
We
That's what
just
the
had one.
Packers
That
need.
guy. Did you see the guy that the Miami Dolphins hired to be their head coach? He has the drill sergeant haircut.
Yeah, I know, and he left. But he coached from
And
the
he wasn't
box.
good.
He
Oh
coached from
yeah,
the
you're right.
box.
Yeah.
I need him on the sidelines.
You need him tearing into people on the sideline. Get
Yes.
called down. He can't bring down.
Yes.
Hey, give me number 52 on the phone stat. Hey, hand this one to him.
Yeah.
Hey,
I,
get your ass back
I need him
up.
on the sideline, tearing into these guys.
Before we're gonna do coach talk with just one sec. I just want I actually like Gannon. I think Gannon's a good hire. I'm gonna be honest, but I do understand what you're saying. I think he has a look of an offensive coordinator where you want Kingsbury, you want you
Oh, that's a good take.
Thank you. I I just thought that up. I was thinking I went to the to a bar to watch the Seahawks Rams game, and Ah, they showed a guy on the Rams sideline with like it, just a bushy beard,
Mhm.
and I don't know who it was. I didn't the sound wasn't on, but it had to have been it was a positional coach. I don't know what position, and I don't know if you were paying attention when they showed this guy. I'm sure they commented on what he
Uh-uh.
does. Do you know who I'm talking about? Did you see this guy?
Uh-uh. I don't think so.
Okay. I'm gonna have to look up the Rams coaching staff and see what he does. But the person I was with, he said, "Is that the Rams OC?" And I said, "There is no way that man is Sean McVay's right-hand man on offense. That has to be a defensive guy." Uh, he had he had a legitimate, like, 1830s beard. It was unkempt. It was it was, um, but basically, uh, to get back on track, when I was walking to the stadium, we talked about, uh me if I was guarding a person running a route on me, if it was Puka or JSN or one of those guys. I was talking about how I think pickleball should be banned because it's taking people's Achilles out, and I was asked why. And I said, well, it's the backstop, like the negative drop step or whatever. And
Yeah.
I showed what I'm talking about, and I was like, it would have been so funny if I would have just blown my Achilles out when I did it, 'cause I did it there, and it was so
Yeah.
cold out, so I was like, it would've just been funny if I would've popped my Achilles right then and there. 'Cause guess what I would've done? I would not have gone to the hospital.
Yeah.
I would've just dangled my foot at the game. I'd have been all like, "I need a wheelchair," and then I would've sat in the ADA section
Yeah.
and watch the game on the big screen. No, okay,
You're
what's this
crutching through
Rams
the
coach?
snow.
Oh,
It's all
I would've
snowy and
been
icy after the game.
oh. Oh, I didn't give this take on this podcast. So, I ordered a lot of clothes that, to wear to this game because I did not prepare correctly for this game. Um, I did not I did not know for sure where I was going, and I did not pack on the way to, dog sit. I dog like, as everybody knows, if they watch my background in the last few podcasts, where it
Mhm.
had great quotes about drinking wine with friends in the sunshine. Um, I was in, um, my hometown, and anywho, I didn't pack correctly, so I bought a whole bunch of clothes, including a nice vest, like a down-filled vest. And anyways, it wasn't gonna show. It was supposed to show up yesterday, Friday, or Friday, not yesterday, but Friday, and from Amazon, and it was Arc'teryx, just to give the brand. It wasn't from Arc'teryx; it was from Amazon. But then it didn't show up, and I waited till 8 p.m. 8 p.m. I message in. Winslow Vu was a person's name that was my Amazon customer service person, and I said, "Winslow, where's my jacket?" And then Winslow was like, "It's not there yet. It hasn't been shipped." I said, "Well, Winslow, is it gonna be here tonight? It says it's supposed to be delivered today." Winslow was like, "No, it hasn't shipped. I'm gonna escalate this." I said, "Will it be here tonight?" And Winslow takes a long time to type back. I said, "Sadly, will not be there tonight." And I said, "When will we'll be here tomorrow?" And so tomorrow's Saturday. Winslow said, "I can't guarantee it'll be there on Saturday." And I said, "Winslow, I need this. I'm gonna get hypothermia if I don't have this down vest." And Winslow was like, I don't know if you're gonna have that down vest." And I said, "This is the first time Jeff has ever let me down." And Winslow was like, "Who's Jeff?" I said,
Your
said,
boss?
"Oh," I said, "Hmm." And I just disconnected and I said, "How was your experience with Winslow Vu?" And I said, "1 star." I might have got Winslow Vu fired. If Winslow Vu, if you're listening, I know it's a big fan of the podcast. I'm so sorry. But then I'm packing up to I'm packing up to come over here to Denver, right? I close the suitcase the night before to make sure everything fits. Fits just fine, just dandy. So next day, I get the things out that I need and I go to close it again. Zipper breaks. Very funny, very comedic. So I don't have a spare suitcase. I take my mom's suitcase. I'm gonna grab that suitcase right now. Do you want to see what I brought?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have it not in the background, but I'm gonna pull this out here. Are you ready? And this is what I've been stowing away and bringing in airports.
I love that.
Dude, a salmon pink suitcase, dude. It's bright pink.
That's so good.
Ah, dude, I got so many looks. In Seattle, everybody just started saluting me. In Denver, people have been
Yeah.
doing the same. In Spokane, I'm gonna get attacked.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah,
that's
anyways,
funny.
yeah. I was laughing pretty hard at myself.
That's funny.
God. Also, I don't know. I'm not going to talk about any more of my travel things. There's some other funny things with the travel. I just had premium class on the way down here. I flew with points. Only one beer served to me. Only one beer served. They brought alcohol through one time. I mean, come on. It was a 4-hour
Wow.
flight. I think that should be 4 beers. It's 1
Yeah.
beer an hour is what it, or at least 3 beers. Maybe one
Yeah.
every. I don't know. I had to pay extra money, extra points for that.
I believe it.
In fact, I paid $22, not points, because you have to use dollars cash for
Yeah.
that. So I basically paid $22 for that beer, which it was not a Michelob. It was not a 15 or 16-ounce aluminum twist off for $15, right? It was actually a $22 beer I basically paid for. The cheapest beers I drank this weekend were literally at the Broncos game. I drank one tall boy. It was like $14. I was like, wow,
What a good
they're giving
deal.
them away here. Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
I said, I said, you're paying me to drink this? um, okay, coaching news. You got Gannon. You think he should be an OC?
Yeah, Gannon, I think that's a great take. He looks like an offensive coordinator. I'm not super happy with that hire. I just don't think he's what the Packers need. It is
You
what
got
it
Hank?
is.
You got Hank? You got Hank in your place?
No, I don't have Hank. This guy doesn't look like a defensive coordinator, man.
Yeah, and he wears the hat too, so he looks bald. That's a big problem. Did he shave his head? He has to have no hair under that. You can't have hair under that head, under that lid. Okay, Ryan Wendell is who they showed. I want you to look up Ryan Wendell, okay? That's who they showed on TV. And can you imagine if that guy was an OC?
Oh, dude. That's basically what the Pats did when they made Matt Patricia the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, you just got to know that that's the end of the line for Bill Belichick.
Oh,
Wait,
dude.
yeah, Ryan Wendell. Why did they talk about him? Were they getting holding penalties?
I think he's an offensive line coach.
Yeah, he played for the Pats.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's offensive line coach. I don't know. I think Brady mentioned him. I think he said
Oh,
something
Brady's
about
well.
him.
That's my friend.
Yeah.
That's my friend down there. That's my friend Ryan. It was like, okay, Tom, back to the
Yeah.
game.
I think the Packers honestly should have hired him to just be defensive. I know he's an offensive lineman, offensive line coach now. Hey, let's try your hand at DC. You look like the kind of guy we need to have as a defensive
You think the
coordinator.
Packers should have Patricia'd him?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I don't know what he could have done, but yeah, you know what? I like that too. You know,
yeah.
he went to Fresno State and he was the WAC co-freshman of the year as an offensive lineman. That was a terrible year for the conference. And I like Ryan Wendell. I mean, obviously, good contributor to the Patriots, but how are you the co-player of a co-freshman of your conference if you're an offensive lineman? How do you even judge that? You have no stats.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay,
I don't
anyways.
know either.
Any other coaching news? Oh yeah.
Mike
Some
McCarthy. Big
mhm.
Mike.
Yeah.
I thought
Most
that was
under
fake when I saw that.
I did too. And I'm gonna tell you this. I love it.
Yeah, I love it too.
I saw one of the nerds, one of the geeks, come on Twitter on ESPN say when Mike McCarthy, the last 2 years of himself in Green Bay, or last year in Green Bay, they ranked like 17th or 16th in EPA per play. Matt LaFleur immediately took over and they were like third. Okay, Matt LaFleur win a Super Bowl or get to a Super Bowl? What are we doing? And then they're like with Dak Prescott and the and the uh and the Cowboys, they were like 17th or 26th last year in EPA per play. With Schottenheimer, they were seventh. And it's like, well, he had Cooper Rush. And here's the thing, he won like 5 straight games with Cooper Rush. Why are we discrediting this guy? Like,
I know.
I still can't believe it. My greatest take ever is Mike McCarthy is Sean Payton, but he's fat, and people just don't like him because he's fat. And
I agree.
we're now in a country that there's Ozempic and GLP-1s to where Mike McCarthy probably shouldn't take them because it would be weird if he shows up to camp very skinny. But if he shows up skinny, people will start respecting him because he's going to be a genius guru offensive play caller. If he just has a nice silver beard and some flowing locks, if he got a hair transplant, if he has like like a welcome to like 5 o'clock shadow beard and
Mhm.
some, if Mike McCarthy just was super handsome and skinny, people would look at him like he's a whole different coach.
Yeah. But instead, it's like the and people they
It's actually insane that that's actually the truth, I think.
if yeah, if he
How old is
lost
he?
um 62. Wow, he's actually kind of old.
No, but that's a problem. See, if he was in the Belichick age group, like if he was old as Belichick, you can start letting yourself go. You have to be in the 70s. You have to be Popovich, you have to be Belichick, you have to be that age. And you also have to be
Mhm.
greater than what McCarthy is for what it's worth, no matter what. You can't get away with it unless you're actually great. I don't know. You go and look at any of these coaches, whether it's the people that get multiple hires. What's Stefanski ever done? Can you tell me what Stefanski's done? Where people like Stefanski? I'm serious. Like, what are we doing? Dayball? What's Dayball ever done? He's gonna get a second
Yeah,
job.
I
He
know.
lost some weight though. I mean, now he's more handsome.
That's why. That's why he's getting a
He's gonna
second
have
job now.
he's gonna be the new spokesman for Subway. Dayball probably. He's gonna hold his old jeans next to. He's gonna be the new. I'm Brian Dayball. I ride the subway and I eat Subway.
Mhm.
I used to coach the New York Giants and now I coach the Buffalo Bills. And the way I got up here was riding the subway.
Yep. I rode the subway all the way from New York City to Buffalo.
I'm Brian Dayball.
I'm Brian Dayball. My head looks more normal upside down.
Yeah, that shouldn't be. That should. He needs to shave. He needs to figure out something there. I'm serious. Like that. When that picture exists, you got to do something
Yeah.
about that lid,
Yeah.
that beard, that lid, something.
Yeah.
I don't even mean to talk crap. I like Dayball too. I like
I
all
do
these
too.
guys. But what's the difference between Mike McDaniel's and Mike McCarthy?
I
Daniels
mean
and Carthy?
I mean, yeah, Daniels and Carthy. That's a good
That was a
one.
good one. I
I
like
like
that.
that. That's
You popped
funny.
up.
Um, Mike McCarthy is literally Mike Tomlin. He he is literally Mike Tomlin. He is Sean Payton. They're the same.
I should have laughed at my own thing like that.
That's a good. That's a good one.
wasn't that
That's a good one.
wasn't that funny though? Uh, um. Wow. Mike McCarthy is like legitimately the greatest coach for Pittsburgh, though. I'm gonna read you this. When I'm reading this, um I want you to look up Mike Tomlin's coaching stats and Harbaugh's. Get those two screens up. John Harbaugh. Um Mike McCarthy was born and raised in Pittsburgh in the
Yep.
blue collar neighborhood of Greenfield. His mother, Ellen, was a secretary who also worked in restaurants and for the Peace and Justice Center. His father, Joe Jr., was a firefighter for the Pittsburgh Fire Bureau and an officer for the Pittsburgh Police Department. What? He was for the Red and Blue? He also owned a bar called Joe McCarthy's Bar and Grill, which Mike spent his Sundays cleaning before church. McCarthy was raised a Steelers fan. Okay, I'm going to be honest. There needs to be a book on Joe McCarthy Jr. He was a firefighter, a police officer, and a bar owner. This guy was a legit racketeer. This is a beast. McCarthy is one of 5 siblings. He has 3 sisters: Colleen, Ellen. There's an Ellen Jr., so they named one of his sisters after his mom, Kelly, and a brother, Joseph III. R.I.P. Joseph III, passed away in 2015. McCarthy attended St. Rosalia Primary School, where he played basketball. I'm going to text you something real quick.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. McCarthy attended St. Rosalia Primary School, where he played basketball. He later made annual donations to the school. McCarthy attended Bishop Boyle High School. He then went to Salem University in West Virginia, Scottsdale Community College in Arizona, playing 1 season for the Fighting Artichokes football team. That's a great team name, Fighting Artichokes. Did
That
you get
is
my
a
text?
great name.
He then
Yeah.
transferred to Baker University in Baldwin, 2-time All-Conference tight end. Okay,
All right,
what
so
a
he's a
beast.
baller.
And then he coached in college at Fort Hays State. Then he was a Pittsburgh Panthers coach as a grad assistant, then a wide receivers coach, then a KC Chiefs quality control assistant, then a quarterbacks coach in 1995, then Packers, then Saints, then 49ers, then Packers for 12 years. I did see somebody reported that he did coach that he gave his tape of all the quarterbacks he's that grew under his tutelage, and one of them included Joe Montana for the Chiefs. And I just want to say that if he actually did that, that should be he should not get the job just based off that. Because I do remember that he also said in the interview for the Cowboys he um, that he was watching tape, and then he said he actually didn't watch tape. He lied in the interview. So maybe this guy's just scam. Maybe his entire backstory is a lie. I don't know if his dad actually owned a bar, was a police officer, and a firefighter. I don't know how that's possible. Is that even possible to do those 3 things?
I don't know. Maybe. If you're in Pittsburgh, dude,
Wh-
if you're in Pittsburgh, dude, you're just a blue collar guy through and through. You know what you do? You do whatever, whatever the community needs, you're gonna do. You know what? Local bar shuts down. Hey, you know what? I'll step in. We'll open up McCarthy's. There's a bunch of robberies
You mean
happening.
Joe's?
Yeah, Joe, sorry.
Joe McCarthy's? You mean Joe McCarthy's Bronco?
Yeah.
Is it still on? It should be up. Okay, this is Mike McCarthy. I don't even know if it's real. This is from Heavy.com, a real site, by the way. Heavy.com. Mike McCarthy's. Why is it all fat phobic about my boy? Mike McCarthy's family. 5 fast facts you need to know. McCarthy has been married twice. Is the first fast fact you need to know. McCarthy was with a woman named Christine since high school, and the two were together for quite some time. These are great fast facts. He has 5 children with a wide age range. He's the son of a former Pittsburgh firefighter. Okay. Number 4, he lost his brother in 2011. Number 5, McCarthy has 3 sisters, in addition to his brother Joe. Oh, that's awesome. Those are great facts. Thank you. Okay, continue. What? It is a blue collar place. What is Tomlin's record and what is Harbaugh's record? You have those?
Yeah, they're both the Harbaugh's 60% win percentage and Tomlin is 62% win percentage.
Mike McCarthy, 608.
So right smack in between them. Sorry, I'm looking at
You're on
Mike McCarthy.
heavy.com now?
I'm looking at Mike McCarthy's diet. Apparently he
Is
tried to
that
do
on
a diet.
heavy.com?
No, he tried to do a diet in 2022, I guess. Well, he talked about lifestyle changes and eating in healthier foods. And then I happened to stumble across a headline, a Reddit post that says, it says from a Cowboys fan. It's just some guy. He says, "Since I've been compared to Mike McCarthy and I'm bigger than this guy, I'm going on a diet." It's just a picture of himself.
Will you send me that pic? Will you send me that real quick?
I'll send you a screenshot of this.
You know what? Honestly, I should just we should just get rid of the game coverage that we did, and we should just have it all be about the coaching news. Is that Wait, I thought that was okay, my Apple Watch looked like Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, I know. That's why he said he's going on a diet.
Okay, he's bigger than Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, I know. He says people
What are
keep
the
saying
comments? Are the comments rude to him?
I didn't look. I'll go
You know
check.
what? I should start commenting. I said, "Hey, that's disrespectful for Mike McCarthy." Somebody should say that to him.
I don't have an account. I can't look.
No. Okay, never mind. No worries. Is there any other coach news? Any other coaches been hired? Oh,
Mm,
yeah, the Chargers. No, not the Chargers. I mean, Mike McDaniel's the Chargers. See, I like that. I think that's a good hire.
yeah.
Big upgrade from Greg Roman. I think that's finally the Harbaugh stepping out of the comfort zone. I mean,
Yeah, finally.
swap Romans like Greg Roman is
Yeah,
was when Harbaugh to Harbaugh. I like Mike McDaniel's. I actually think he doesn't want to go to the Browns. I think the Bills probably were going to consider him, but he doesn't want to go to Buffalo. He wants to be in hot weather. I
yeah.
think that's one of the a funny thing that is very true about him, and it's okay. I think that's fine. I don't hate that for him. I think it's a very big lack of ambition, but he'll take a job when a job rise opens up that is a warm weather job,
Yeah.
and we'll see where it is. But that is pretty clear. Jesse Minter to the Ravens. I think there's going to be people out there that love this job. I'm not one of them. I'm actually going to be the guy that says I think this is the worst hire of the new coaches. I don't know if there's any other hires of new coaches, but um,
Stefanski to the Falcons.
that's not a new coach though. It's like a retread hire, right?
Oh, oh,
Like
oh, oh,
I
yeah.
think this might be a first time head coach. Reason is because one, this guy is from the organization. He coached there 2017 to 2020. He then went to coach with Jim Harbaugh in Michigan. So again, not stepping out of the box. You're just basically hiring somebody from John Harbaugh's staff. You
Yeah,
clearly should have just hired Mike McDonald, who's about to coach in a Super Bowl. Instead, you're hiring a defensive assistant that was coaching with him.
yeah.
For every Sean McVay out there, how many people are not Sean McVay that have been hired alongside Sean McVay? What they did not get, and this is going to be a good take. You're going to like this. Again, this is at the very end of the podcast, basically. There's a Sean McVay that got hired from Washington to be the Rams head coach. And then the Rams, they had a guy that was their offense coordinator. That's now the current head coach and the final or AFC North head coach remaining standing. His name's Zach Taylor, ZAC Taylor. He was the offensive coordinator for the Rams. You didn't get Sean McVay, Cincinnati, and you refused to fire him. What the Ravens wanted was Mike McDonald, and instead they're going to get Zach Taylor of Mike McDonald's. It's not going
Yeah.
to work. Jesse Minter's fine. I mean, he's fine. I don't think he's a bad coach, but it's like, how about you don't hire somebody from the Harbaugh tree that has
Yeah.
any relation to this team? They should have gone if they wanted a defensive guy. There's an obvious name, and I understand why they're not going to do it, but it was obviously Brian Flores.
Mhm.
And I get that the stipulations are he probably has to drop the lawsuit against the NFL or it has to play out because owners are not going to hire a guy that's currently engaged in a lawsuit against all of them.
Yeah.
And you could say that's black. You could say that's like being blackballed or whatever, and that probably is true. But it's also like I think that's also justifiable. If you're getting sued by somebody, are you going to hire them? I
Yeah.
mean, regardless of legal practices or not, they could make whatever justification. But Flores is the guy. They should have just hired Brian Flores, and that's a different culture than what Minter's going to bring in. Jesse Minter is literally coaching the Harbaughs for the last 7 to 10 years, I think.
Mhm.
Is that going to change anything? Is that going to set a spark to Lamar and that team who clearly didn't like John Harbaugh? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's like you're just bringing in an in-house guy.
Yeah.
So basically, what you said to John Harbaugh is, we're not going to get over the hump with you when hire an assistant, but it's not the assistant that we should have hired. It's just a different guy.
Yeah.
And it's also a defensive coach where a lot of the problems are on wasn't really defense. It's more so the offensive play calling aspect. And it's like maybe they should have hired an offensive guy. I don't know. If they wanted a defensive guy, the Flores is out there. An offensive guy, there's plenty of
Yeah.
guys. I
It
think. Yeah.
it feels like they're chasing their losses a little bit. Like Mike McDonald got away. You know what? We're not going to let this guy get away. Even though, we're not quite as high on him. He's clearly not as good of a coach as McDonald is or was when he was with us, but it's like, hey, we're not going to let this one get away. We're going to make sure we don't miss. And it's like, hey, you can't. I just think it's you cannot compare those past opportunities to like what's available now. I think that again, if they're gonna go defensive, they should have gone after Saleh. They should have gone after Flores, or there's a handful
Oh, it
of
would have been
guys.
great.
Yeah, and like it's like you promote from within. It's making a change without making a change. Like
And
actually.
people would say they're not promoted from within because he coached with Michigan under the other Harbaugh, and then
Yeah.
he coached with the Chargers. But it's like, do you really think the philosophies of John and Jim are different? I mean, what are we doing? Brothers and they're best friends.
Yeah.
It'd be insane to think that they're much different.
Mm-hmm.
They're very close. They're a tight knit family. I don't know.
Yeah.
The other thing we didn't really talk much. We didn't talk enough about on this podcast. You and I and Greg,
Mm-hmm.
especially the Bills, like the Bills dysfunction. I mean, they haven't hired a coach yet, so we can stop. We don't need to talk too much about it. But that entire GM and ownership uh, fiasco of in the season press conference is, I
That
mean,
was
if you're
bad.
yeah, you're throwing the coaching staff under the bus for Keon Coleman, who's still on the roster, by the way. He clearly is not going to be on the roster next season. I mean, like, there's no way that that's going to be salvaged, and it doesn't really need to be. He's not that great, but you throw them under the bus. If you look at the GM's picks, it's terrible. And I want to just
Mm-hmm.
remind people, and this doesn't really matter, but it's funny in hindsight and retrospect that Pagula is not a great owner. And he owns another he owns the Sabres in Buffalo as well. And the only reason the Bills are really relevant and good in the NFL is because of Josh Allen. But the other person that was bidding for this team back in the day before Pagula won it was do you know who it was, Darren? Do you
Mm-mm.
remember?
Mm-mm.
Donald J. Trump.
Really?
Those were the final two bidders. And so it's funny that like this is a disaster. And I think if Trump would have owned this team, it probably would have been. I mean, if he would have ended up running for president, it would be Don Jr. running this team. But whole point, whole like points aside of that, yeah, this is like I don't know what's gonna happen here. I think again, if you're if you're the owner of the Bills, if you're the Pagula family, obviously you have a right to be upset that it feels like this was the year and you didn't make it, and it's not a real football reason, but like you doubly pissed because the Patriots made it. I think there's definitely reasons for that. After
Mm-hmm.
the game, Bo Nix is out, and you're like, oh my god, if we would have won that game in overtime, we would
Yeah.
be playing the Patriots, and instead now we just lost this game, and they're playing with their backup quarterback, and now you get to watch a team cycle through an entire rebuild and make the Super Bowl in your division when you have who I think everybody probably considers either the best or second best player in football as your quarterback, who's now going to be 30 next year, and he hasn't made the play or he hasn't made the Super Bowl. And so I get that frustration, but I also think that's the worst avenue to take it out on is just to basically throw your ex head coach under the bus. There's a lot of times you could have thrown him under the bus. I don't think that game was the game to do it, and you let the GM. And I don't know who's going to take that job. I think it's going to be Dayball. We just talked about that, but
Yeah.
that's not going to change the culture the way it should be changed. It again, if you're there are so many coaches out there that got canned, and it's like I can't believe that they went the places they went, and I don't know. I just feel like the jobs that were the two best jobs by far are Buffalo and Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anything compares to those. You got Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, and instead, like I don't know who's gonna get that job. There's a guy that's getting a lot of consideration. It's Joe Webb. I think it's Joe Webb is his name. He's the passing game coordinator for Denver, who now can officially interview. He's Sean McVay's Sean Payton's right hand man. He was a groomsman in uh Josh Allen's wedding. He was a backup quarterback there for like 3 years, his
Mm.
final 3 years, and then
Yeah.
he went to Denver. I really hope they hire him as a hater of the Bills. I really
Yeah.
hope they don't hire him if you care about Josh Allen and his well being. They should not let Josh Allen anywhere near that coaching hiring
No,
decision-making process. I don't think Tom Brady should be the one making decisions for the Raiders outside of the quarterback. That's it. He can scout quarterbacks. Josh Allen should not be deciding the head coach or anything to do with the head coach. And if
no.
they let him impact the decision, they've said they're gonna. If he picks his friend, that's great. That's gonna be. He's a 30 year. He's 30 year. He's my age. He's 30. I'm 29, but he's 30. And it's like you're gonna let this guy come and is it Joe Webb or Davis Webb? It's what it's a Webb, and they're gonna let
Yeah, it's
him pick
Joe Webb,
the
yeah.
Joe. Yeah, they're gonna let him pick the head coach. If he gets that head coaching job, again, there's a lot of McVays, there's a lot of non-McVays. There's Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin was a head
Yeah.
coach at one point, and I just think that that would be insane. And a
Yeah,
lot of people want to get the next young guru, and I mean that Grant Udinsky guy is going to get a job probably, and he might be good. I mean, I don't get me wrong, and Joe Webb might be good, but I think you're really just if you have a team that's the Bills caliber, you probably don't want to take that risk. When the Rams hired McVay, it was when they were what were they? They had the first pick the year before, and they got
yeah,
Goff,
yeah, they
or
weren't
were they?
good.
Were they yeah, you don't want to do it if you have Josh Allen. You don't want to risk like having a guy that's younger than like 45% of the roster. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
That's my opinion. Again, if they hire him, I'd be ecstatic as a Patriots fan. A guy that's never had play calling experience. He could very well be great, and then I'd eat crow. Um, yeah,
no. No, I
that's
agree, you
basically
want
the end of
something
that. But
proven. Yeah, you want something
is the
proven when you
Raiders
have
have
a
a coach? Sorry, keep going.
yeah. Yeah, no, I was saying I think you want something proven when you have a team that's ready to win now. You don't want an experimental guy as your head coach.
Yeah. The Raiders don't have a coach either yet. Should they let Mendoza pick that coach? Get Signetti. They hire Cristobal. Um, okay. Well, we're about an hour and a half in. Fun podcast. Um,
Good
I
pod.
could. We should record right after this a podcast of if the results were different from today, and just act like it's an alternate reality, or if the Denver Broncos and Rams won, and it's just me flinging myself off the balcony just for fun, but on a bungee cord, of course, and then I just
Yeah,
pop back up. I'm like,
I
well,
like it.
I'm back. Anyways, okay, we will be back on. I guess Tuesday. I guess we'll be back Tuesday. We'll do a second episode this week, but I think Sunday's episode is we'll probably do picks and release it on Tuesday. We'll do a prop episode too next week. So we're gonna do two episodes next week. One will be a prop episode. One will be a super. It'll be all prop. We'll figure it out. There's gonna be two episodes. We're gonna keep the schedule. So, thank you, Darren.
As
Ram,
always,
Rams, Broncos, great seasons. Um, you know, I think great coaches. Everything was good, but Seahawks, Patriots.
Seahawks
I
Patriots.
can't believe it. Can't believe it. It's unbelievable. Time is a flat circle. Flat circle. Love you, Darren.
As always.
Peace.
See